Good day and welcome to another edition of Outsider Genie, where we will be focusing on the racing today from Fairview, where we're racing on the turf track, the 4th of June 2021. Now, we have 8 races on the card, the first race off at 12:30. Now, as you will know and can see, the first 2 races are juvenile races, so I can't do any selections on those horses because there's no form to work on. So, but I will give you the betting of the first 2 races for those who wants to have a bet on race and horses with no form. We go to race number 1, 11, Take Control, 17 to 10, Silent Observant, 22 to 10, 5 to 2, Lemon Pepper, 15 to 2, La Donna Mia, 14 to 1, Picture of My Heart, 14 to 1, Red Ruby, 28 to 1, Just Chestnut, and 50 to 1, Along with the Rest. Then we have race 2, over a 49 meter, the juvenile plate. A-grade Marmalade, 9 to 10, 16 to 10, Safari Blue, Artistic Advance, 4 to 1, 14 to 1, Mars Marigold, Alcoholic, 18 to 1, and 45 to 1, and Better the Rest. Then we move on to race 3, which is a 1400 meters maiden plate. Number 2, Chocolate, 22 to 10, Matleni, 3 to 1, Cleto, 11 to 2, 6 to 1, Jaspero, Calagero, 10 to 1, Demari, 12 to 1, Self Sandwich, 10 to 1, and 14 to 1, and Better the Rest. So here in race 3, my first selection is the recent arrival from KwaZulu-Natal, number 2, Chocolate, a Ferrari gelding by London Newsmere, Dancing Delight. The horse has run a few forward races, notably ran third behind Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez then came out and won again. Prince of Tirana looks like he is a horse that can win a few races, and then also behind Final Rested in the goal. But I think if you the form that he ran in KwaZulu-Natal much stronger than the form he's meeting here, and he has got Richard Ferrie on board, so that certainly makes him a strong contender. For outsider selections, I'm going for number 3 and 4. Not really outsiders; they are high up in the betting. 11 to 1 and 6 to 1, so it's not big outsiders, but that's the way it is. As at number 3, a Captain of All by a Ford with me. The horse has run 1 second and one fourth, but again, yeah, the form I think is in and out. But yeah, maybe he can be involved in a finish. But it does look that number 1 has got stronger form than number 3, Cleto, in the same center. And then we have Jaspero, also a horse that has been running a few places lately, has had 2 seconds, a third, and 2 fourths. Marco van Rensburg for Gavin Smith, and certainly also a horse that can be there when the photos are taken. And then obviously we want to look at number 1, which is another import from Cape Town, but number 2's form looks to be stronger than the form that number 1 had in Cape Town. But we all know that these Cape Town horses come here with not too good form, and they do manage to win races on that form. So certainly number 1 also, Mtlabeni, a contender in this race. Then we move on to race number 4, which is a maiden plate over 1,000 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Here the betting is number 1, After the Storm, 13 to 20. Just So Easy, 5 to 2. Time Off, 7 to 2. Margaret Elaine, 7 to 1. Number 6, Dance on Waves, 28 to 1, 50 to 1, and Better the Rest. Now here they're backing this horse 13 to 20, After the Storm. Certainly this horse has got a good chance, comes from Cape Town, ran second to English Princess, who came from KwaZulu-Natal, who brought some KwaZulu-Natal form. And this is a Duke of Marmalade filly by a Magog mare. Yeah, maybe it has got a chance, but I would not be taking the 13 to 20, and that is for sure. Not that I don't say the horse cannot win. Definitely the horse has got a form to win, but I think the odds are a bit short. Then I've got an outside section which I like a lot, and which I have included in some of my pick sixes, and that's number 4, Margaret Elaine. Elaine, it's a philanthropist by Western Winter Mare. Now, this horse also comes from Cape Town. Last time ran over 1,000 meters, and he ran on late 23.2, and it's got Richard Fourie on board. Now, Richard Fourie is a master in producing a horse from behind. I think one of the best in the country. And based on that, I will definitely include number 4 in most of my pick sixes. Number 3, Just So Easy, have a chance, can be involved, but it's also a maiden, already 13 runs, always there and thereabouts, but always finding one to beat him. Then we move on to race number 5. Race number 5 was a classified stakes over 2,400, and I think this is a very open race. Let's have a look at the betting. Number 5, Crystal Stream, 33-10, 9-2, Baka, Inner Space, 4-1, Hit for 6, 9-2, 6-1, Bush River, 7-1, Sour Spirit, Take the World, 8-1, 33-1, Clover Club, and scratch number 7 at the Opera. So here in this race, my first selection is here down number 8, Sour Spirit. You will see that Sour Spirit is second in the handicap here. And I do think that Sour Spirit, Alan Greef and Glover must have a chance, ran 4th behind La Bastida. And I think over this 2,400 meters might just be the distance that the horse is looking for. He has been running there and thereabouts. He's now running in a middle stakes at a D65 level. And as you can see, he has run against 82s and a year behind the Heartbreak Hotel. Not beaten by far, 7 lengths, a fair run against some strong opposition. And I'm thinking Sour Spirit is fully from 51.5 today, only carrying 51.5 today. I think will really be a factor in this race. Then my outsider selection is number 1, which is Take the World. This horse won 2 in a row, and it's not often that a horse wants 2 in a row. It is a Pomodoro. Richard Fourie again on board, and he has run not too far behind the Heatfoot 6, who's also in this race. And Heatfoot 6 is carrying a little bit more. Take the World is carrying the same weight. And I think if you're looking for a surprise in this race, certainly number 1, Take the World, foot the bill. In my pick 6, I've included all of the runners except the bottom one, number 9, Clover Club, I think. Number 9. I haven't included number 9. So then we move on to the next race, which is race number 6, a Fillies and Mares 64 handicap over 1,600 meters, class E60. And here in my mind, another open race, number 1, Paris Opera, 9-2, 11-2, Tandankile, 7-1, Sarajevo, 8-1, Orphans Flash, Beyond Temptation, 8-1, Mistress of Means, 10-1, Field Dancer, 12-1, Tropical Gear, 14-1, Viva Pio, 14-1, Theatrical Moment, 16-1, and Better the Rest. So here my first selection race 6 is here at the bottom, number 14. Tandankile. Now, Tandankile is an ex-Alexander horse, and this horse is now running in a E60. The last time he ran in that kind of division was when he was a maiden. That was a G65. Now, you can see here the horses that he's running in. Encryption has 1 year again. Pascal Samour was winning his 2nd race in a row. The second base, I mean, I don't have to tell you what second base can do. Undra is a very decent horse. Mirren has won a few, and now it finds itself here in the Port Elizabeth running against some wicked opposition. And I'm thinking number 14, Tandankile, definitely is going to run a huge race here. Then for outsider selections, I went with number 4, Mistress of Means. Another Richard Fourie ride. This horse, same category, has run against stronger 73s, 70s. And I think with the way Richard ride, the style will suit this horse, Mistress of Means. And then my other outsider selection is number 8, Beyond Temptation. I've been following this horse for a long time, and he's not, sometimes he runs a good race, sometimes he runs a bad race. But one of these days, he's going to put it together. He hasn't won for 588 days. But I'm sure Tara Lang is going to get him ready. And one of these days, he'll land up in the number 1 box. And that could be today as well. It's not beyond this horse to win this race. And then we had the favorite number 1, Paris Open, who ran 2 nice races after the maiden, and surely can also be a candidate for the number 1 box here today. So we move on to the Riggs race, and that is race number 7, the Lady Slipper Stakes, over 1,400 meters, a listed event. A lot of good horses has won this race in the past. Now here we have the betting as follows. The betting as follows: number 4, Sound Check, 16-10. Harmony Girl, 2-1, 5-2, Quick Breeze. Waymaker, 9-2, Weak Falls, 10, and 40-1, Chocolate Ruffles. So here we have 2 visitors from Cape Town, number 2, Harmony Girl, and Quick Breeze, against the local PE horse, which is Sound Check. Now, Sound Check has won 3 races in a row, another global view, and these global views, they can run. And he won quite easy last time over the 1,400 meters for Alan Greef and Greg Shane. But I'm looking at number 2, Emily Gold. To me today, it looks like Richard Fourie is going to have a nice day. They're all on level weights. And this horse ran on well over the 1,000 meters. And I'm sure the 1,400 meters will even suit him, being by a Silvano mare, the dam by a Silvano mare, has got Curari. Definitely, I think the difference will not be a problem. And then you have number 6, Quick Breeze. Another Curari by Dubai Destination would also be comfortable over the 1,400 meters. So sure, there are also horses that can run on. So for your pick 6 and put in 2, 3, and 4. But then here at the bottom is another horse that I like. It's a Louis the King filly. And yeah, this filly has won once and ran second to Sound Check. Lyle Hewitson on board. Unfortunately, my budget didn't allow to put into the pick 6, but if you can, do put it in the pick 6, because these fillies, they can improve quite dramatically from one race to another. Then we get down to the last race, the 8th race. America 78 handicap. Let's have a look at the betting. And here the betting is as follows: number 4, Greek Fire, 33-10. Gold Rock, 7-1, 53-10. Africa's Rock, 7-1. Mr. Tango, Sputnik, 7-1. Beethoven, 14, 16-1. Toro Lake, and 14-1. Push Off, 16-1. A better the rest. Now here my selection is number 8, Gold Rock. Now Gold Rock was beaten by Greek in last time out, but he was beaten by a quarter of a length, and he was carrying a half kilogram less. Now today he's carrying 1.5 kilogram less than Greek Fire. Surely that should put him in front of Greek Fire, and Greek Fire is the favorite in this race. So my first selection, number 7, Gold Rock. I'm a handicapper. That's what I do. And on the handicap on paper, yeah, the horses aren't always run on paper, but based on what I see, Greek Fire, if they ran a similar race than last time on the weights, cannot beat Gold Rock. But yeah, things do happen. Then outsider selections, number 5, Secret Dream. You know, this Secret Dream at stage in Gauteng looked like it's going to be a top horse. I think she won her maiden by 9 lengths. And I mean, she's been running against Running Brave, Gaelic Princess, horses that if you put them in this field today would surely kill this field. She's dropped from a 95 from a 97 to a 78. I just can't believe her last run. She's not striding out. But I think if Sharon Cotson can straighten out that that problem. Secret Dream will be definitely a contender in this field. Then we look at number 7, which is Push Off. Another ex-Michael de Kock inmate coming from Gauteng, where form was okay. Last time out, refused to jump. I'm hoping they're working on that problem. And I think Push Off, he also a horse that has the capability, I think, of winning this race, not to be left out of your pick sixes. And then number 4, my other selection to complete the exacta is number 4, is the favorite Greek Fire, which I've just spoken about. But then there's another horse that you need to include in all of your play, and that's maybe number 6, Beethoven, also a candidate, has been running well over this distance, 2 seconds and a fourth. And then I just want to go down here to number 12. Number 12, Africa's Rock, also Kerari by Al Maftimi. And this Africa's Touch, I think she's thrown some nice individuals already. So also number 12, Africa's Rock, if your budget allowed, do include, has just won his maiden. By the way, he won his maiden was quite impressively, and I think the 1400 meters will not be a problem. So that brings us to the end of our preview. I hope I could point you in the right direction and point you, for a few winners. And as I always say, break a leg.